Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Mario Kart 8's Top 48 Tracks. This is episode 3. We've already been through 16 tracks that I have listed in previous videos, which you can find links to in the description below. And as always, we will recap the 8 tracks shown in the last video. At number 40, we have Wario Stadium. At 39, Twisted Mansion. 38, DK Jungle. 37, Sweet Sweet Canyon. 36, Bone Dry Dunes. 35, Cheep Cheep Beach, 34, Baby Park, and 33, Water Park. And now, on to the next track. At number 32, we have Excitebike Arena. Why is it so low, you may ask? Well, some of you may be nostalgia blinded by Excitebike, but I'm not. I especially do like, though, how it does give reference to the Excitebike games with the ramps and the slopes. It feels like a really tough bike arena, and it actually makes a lot of sense. It's like what Wario Stadium was in the N64 trying to be a kart arena, but for bikes. So I always love going around on my bikes on this track, and since I usually primarily use bikes over karts, it makes a lot more sense for me. I like how the finish line can be placed in 2 different positions so that you actually can go through one side of the arena in one race and then the other side of the arena in the other race to start off with. It definitely adds some dynamics to the track. However, because the layout doesn't actually change, it's only where the finish is placed, I think that was lost a little bit and was used to better effect in DLC Pack 2 anyway, with Animal Crossing. But I do like Excitebike Arena. A lot of good drifting areas, brilliant for tricks, and it is just an entertaining level. Really enjoy it. At number 31, we have Sherbert Land. Now, I'm not usually the biggest fan of ice levels, but I am making an exception here because Sherbet Land is so packed full of exciting shortcuts, lots of beautiful colours, a lot of hazards that I actually really enjoy, and it's just such a nice experience. For an ice level, you start off with the penguins, you've got a tunnel you can go down, you can slide through for a shortcut, or you can go through the actual ice cave you're meant to go through. There are a lot of opportunities to use boost mushrooms to get through players, such as in the little slalom bit before you come to the giant ice lake, and I like how in this version you can actually go underneath the ice lake for an entirely separate half of the track if you don't want to bother with going above ground. I always tend to go underneath because there are boost panels under the water and it's just a lot more beautiful than up on top. Honestly, this track is just really beautiful, and it's so dynamic, and there's so much going on that I just absolutely enjoy it. The hazards don't even bother me. I love the ice skating penguins. Honestly, this is a very deserving track. And now we have this game's installment of Bowser's Castle. Now, to be honest, I've seen better Bowser's Castles. I'm looking at the Wii game. That one had an amazing castle. But this one is chock full of pretty awesome stunts, a lot of cool hazards, and it uses anti-gravity insanely well. I like how you've got the lasers shooting from the statues at the start of the track on lap 2 or 3. Very entertaining. I like how the hazards are very dangerous and actually do manage to stop you most of the time because it definitely adds that element of danger. The music in this stage is intense, and I absolutely love the giant Bowser mech. That is a beautiful addition, and while it's easy to avoid, it's actually one that you actually want to not avoid because you can actually do tricks on the ripples to make your boosts more engaging. I lost my train of thought there. But my favourite part of this track has to be that gliding section where you glide out of the Bowser's Castle and down to the track that leads back up to it. It's beautiful, you glide for so long, and it's just amazing. I love this track. It definitely screams danger, it screams Bowser, And holy hell, when you get to the third lap and the music kicks up a notch, oh boy. So, going from Bowser's Castle to an even bigger lava-filled track, it's Grumble Volcano. I absolutely adore this track. You see, it's a volcano. There's lots of lava, it's great for drifting, you can get some really cool tricks. Obviously, I'm a big fan of when this entire course just starts to collapse on itself, because it really makes you have to think and strategize exactly where you're going to be driving next, just in case the floor crumbles out from underneath you. And may I say, in 200cc, you can do a lot of really good shortcuts in this. Admitted, there aren't many shortcuts that you can do in general other than a few gliding sections, but to be honest, the dynamic use of the track really makes up for that. I also do love the rather volcanic theme that it's got going on. It definitely fits with the track, and to be honest, I just love the name. I just love thinking about a Grumble Volcano because it reminds me of DK Mountain from Double Dash. Won't you bring that back, Nintendo? DLC Pack 3 DK Mountain, please? People are gonna hate me for this, but I'm only putting Shy Guy Falls down this low. Honestly, as you can tell, I absolutely adore this track. I like how it uses the anti-gravity to some of the best effect in the game. As you're driving up a waterfall, boost padding on the waterfall, and then you drive down the waterfall to do more jumps. And you get to see Shy Guys mining and gliding and having a lot of fun. To be honest, the only reason I don't like this track is because I've had a horrible amount of bad experiences of getting beaten last minute on this track every single time because of that one shortcut where you go up above the platform after you jump off the waterfall that I can never get. Probably because of my glider choice, but at the same time, I absolutely adore this track. The music is beautiful. The visuals, obviously brilliant, the track is great, and while there aren't that many shortcuts, it is certainly a track that is fair because it's a very straight track. It's not really like full of twists and turns, and you can really try and overtake your opponents. A blue shell on this, or a red shell when you're going across those gaps, absolutely devastating. I love it. I love Yoshi. If you can tell, most of my videos, except for the DLC Pack 2 footage, which belongs to Game Explained, actually shows me playing as Yoshi. But I like his tracks even more. Yoshi Circuit, it's absolutely beautiful. I loved it in Double Dash, and when it made a reappearance here, I absolutely adored it. I like how they've added the updated visuals to make it even more beautiful. I love how good it is for drifting in 150cc, and I especially love just the shortcut opportunities. The waterfall shortcut always is something I like to go for because it is a beautiful shortcut. The only downside is no Daisy Cruiser anymore in the water in the ocean. That's also a track they should bring back. Bring back Daisy Cruiser. Gives Daisy more of a purpose. Honestly, I just enjoy it so goddamn much. This track is just so much fun, and you're driving on a Yoshi. Like, they haven't done that with Mario or Luigi or anyone, but Yoshi got that treatment, so that's gotta say a lot. Honestly, it just feels so empowering when you're driving across the track and you win as Yoshi. Okay, we had to see it coming at some point. At 26, we have the Wii U Rainbow Road. Now, as everybody has stated, they believe it to be the worst Rainbow Road in the series. Yeah, they're pretty much right about that. It's not very good in terms of its gimmicks, but as a Rainbow Road, it does stand the test of time, and it does use anti-gravity to pretty dangerous effect. The first turn of this entire race, the first giant U-turn you have to do, is freaking dangerous. On 100cc, on 200cc it's just impossible, but on 100cc it is dangerous. I like how you go across a giant space station. It's a very nice little kind of tidbit they added on. While it wasn't really used to much effect, I really do enjoy that visual. And then going up to that final track piece where you have to slalom down and you can boost shortcuts by actually going off the track, which is something you don't do in Rainbow Road. You never go off the track in Rainbow Road. But if you go off the track in this Rainbow Road, you can land on tracks underneath it and you can secure some pretty damn fast shortcuts that I absolutely adore. And it also helps that at that point, when you reach that slalom moment, my favourite part of the music track kicks in. Honestly, I love this Rainbow Roads theme. I adore it so goddamn much, and I have no idea why. I just love it. The theme is amazing, and it's probably one of the reasons why it's so high. But honestly, for a Rainbow Road, while this track is definitely the weakest Rainbow Road in the series, I still think it does Mario Kart 8's gimmicks justice. And finally, we are ending this episode off with a DLC track. It is Cheese Land. I love the Game Boy Advance Super Circuit. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the games I played to death on my Game Boy Advance when I was younger. Cheese Land was one of those tracks that I really enjoyed, and any track coming back into the retro, fun thing that is Mario Kart 8 really deserves my attention. Mario Circuit obviously didn't, but let's ignore that for now. Cheese Land is so dynamic and amazing. For a desert course, it just brings everything it's got. It's got the A game, and I adore it so damn much. I like the potholes that you have to use to boost forwards into the rest of the track. I like how some of them are strategically placed so that if you do tricks off of them, you won't actually get help, but you'll be hindered. And finally, we see the return of Chain Chomps. Where have they been all game? Were they just kind of hiding somewhere, just like sitting out in the sun? I especially love the visuals of Cheese Land because you can see in the distance in the backdrop actual pizza rocks, and I like how you've got Toad settlements just kind of hanging about, and I especially love the shortcuts in this map just because some of them are just amazing. That one gliding shortcut that it showed off in the trailer so much, that thing is beautiful, and I've watched gameplay of it. I haven't been able to play the Mario Kart 8 Second Pack DLC myself, but I've watched so much gameplay of it, and that is just a beautiful, beautiful shortcut. My only complaint with the track is just that it's very, very clustered. That's all. I really enjoyed it though.